New videos every day.
Do you worry that your vocabulary isn't very strong? Do you feel inferior when talking to people who use big words that you don't know? Happens to me often, but there's really no reason for us to feel that way. It's not like these people are inherently smarter just because they know words that we don't know. Many of them work at it, and if you care enough, you can too. I'm David Duhr with WriteByNight, a writing center and writing service in Austin, and today I'm going to talk to you about improving your vocabulary. Now, it won't shock you when I recommend using a dictionary. Some people, when they're reading a book, like to pause and look up words that they don't know. What I find is a better way to go, it doesn't break up my flow when I'm reading, is to just circle words in a book that I don't know, and then at the end, flip through the book, pick out those words that I've circled, and look them up all at once. One thing I find helpful is to then look up all those words in a thesaurus and find some synonyms. Dictionary.com and Thesaurus.com kind of work in tandem, so those are good online tools. It's kind of obvious advice to say look up words in a dictionary and thesaurus, but there's a third step that for me is the most essential one. I have a problem with memory. In fact, I've already forgotten most of what I've talked about in this video, but there are some ways to help you commit these words to memory. To commit a word to memory, I absolutely must create and then write down a few sentences of my own using that word. And I think if you're anything like me, you'll find that a word will lodge in your brain if you use it yourself in a creative manner. Another online tool I find helpful is urbandictionary.com, because you just never know what the kids are up to these days. For example, when I hear the word steamer, I think of a cruise ship, a passenger boat. But if you're at a frat party and you're going to tell people about your upcoming cruise by saying, "I'm going to take a steamer," you're going to be met with some laughter. So a dictionary and a thesaurus, or add .com to both of those for ease of online use, and urbandictionary.com. Word-a-day calendars are also effective. You can buy one for your bedside, but there are also a lot of online tools you can use, including dictionary.com. It will give you a word a day and a definition in your email. Use the same strategies. Write down the word, read its definition, come up with a couple sentences of your own using that word, and it'll lodge in your brain. And on December 31st, you'll still be another year closer to death, but at least you'll have retained a few new words. A lot of people will tell you that a game like Scrabble helps, and it does, but it works even better if you break the rules. Technically, you're only supposed to use a Scrabble dictionary when challenging an opponent's word, but that's boring. In my family, everybody gets their own Scrabble dictionary and they can refer to it anytime they want, even when it's their turn and they can't figure out what letters to use. You'll come across a lot of new words this way. You'll play a lot of new words in the Scrabble game and get more points. And it's kind of a fun way. You're basically reading a dictionary, but for fun. Unless you lose, which is no fun, but give it a try next time you and the family play Scrabble. And of course, try out these new words in your own writing. It will always be the best way to commit them to memory. But when you read your work back to yourself, make sure that these words don't sound unnatural or forced. If they do, you risk losing your reader's attention, and that's one of the major things you need to avoid in your writing. In a future video, I'll be talking about effective ways for turning off that internal critic. And in another video, I'll give you 10 tips on how to win at Scrabble. Visit my website at writebynight.net, leave a question below in the comments field and I'll answer it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.